What is up, everybody? Welcome to another video. Today what we're going to touch base on is how to do a mandala stencil. This can be super confusing for some people, so how I set up and how I would design a design for a mandala, just because it is really getting popular out there. I do probably a couple of these a month in my tattoo studio, so they are super popular right now. So more than likely, if you are getting into tattooing, this is something you're going to be doing. If you're new to this channel, I'm Brandon from Tattooing 101, and make sure you're liking and subscribing down below so we could teach you the tips and tricks that we have learned with tattooing. So let's get into how to design a mandala. Okay, so when it comes to drawing mandalas on an iPad, yes, you can just take one off of online and copy that design, but I prefer to make my own just because it'll make it a custom design. No one else on the face of the earth will have it unless obviously someone copies from you. So what I use for that is the Amaziograph application. What this does is make it super easy for you to go in and do a mandala or any design you really want to very easily. You know, you can do this on Procreate as well. It could be a little bit more tricky. I prefer to use this application just for mandalas. It just works really well for me. So when it comes to the actual design, you could change the opacity, go back, delete things, and, you know, obviously change the size of your brush as well, which makes it super simple. So whenever I go through and make a mandala, all you really need to do is, you know, start out in the middle, and then you could go through and do pretty much any design you want to make your mandala how you want. Right, like this. And depending on where you're doing it on the body, you could always make the design bigger and make your line size a little bit bigger to make the design cool. But you could even use a reference whenever you're making these mandalas, and you know, that way you're not copying the exact same thing as someone else, but it will be like the design they want. Usually you're going after flower type of look with mandalas, but there's tons of different ones out there nowadays. They seem to be really big and they're going to grow, so learning how to do them will be very beneficial in your career for sure. There's tons of different ways to do them, adding little designs into them as well. You know, you could do little triangles starting out that way, and then, you know, add your flower designs in there. But yeah, this app makes it super easy to make these designs, and what I do from there is I will just screenshot this and then take it onto Procreate to get it sized up and everything I really need to do to be able to make the stencil. Another thing you can do is if there's too many grid marks for this design, if you go over here and do adjust grid, you could do, you know, a ridiculous amount to where, you know, do crazy designs with this one, but obviously that would be super hard to tattoo. And then usually I stick to about 6 for some. I'll go up to about 11 or 12 for a couple of them, but yeah, this makes it super easy. There is a symmetry part on Procreate, but like I said, this just works really simple for me, and I can make designs very quickly and make mandalas. So I would definitely recommend checking out this app. I'll show it to you again. Right there. I download that. Anyone that's getting into making these mandalas, this will help you out a ton. But other things I want to talk about whenever you are creating a mandala would be, you want to make sure that you are not hand stenciling these designs. So if you are getting into tattooing with mandalas in like these geometrical shapes, you want to make sure that you are getting a stencil machine. So you can get them on Amazon fairly cheaply. I think I spent $150 on the one that I got, and that's the one I used for the shop. I didn't go and spend $1,000 on a crazy stencil machine when those work perfectly fine for me. That's what I've used at my studio, and I've had it for 3 years now. It works perfectly fine. The biggest problem with hand stenciling these designs is it's going to be really hard to follow these perfectly. So if you mess up one area in this design, what's going to happen is it's going to throw everything off, and you're going to clearly be able to tell in the tattoo where you messed up. So I definitely recommend not trying to hand stencil these designs. Get a stencil machine. They're cheap and it'll save you a ton of time trying to hand stencil these. And also having the issue of messing up a line because you're following your stencil and it being a little bit off from hand stenciling it, which caused a problem with the actual tattoo. So these are my pointers when it comes to creating a mandala and stenciling mandala, all the things that go into doing a mandala tattoo. Also, if you're having an issue with drawing or having the time to draw because of work or something like that, I definitely recommend checking out our Tattooing 101 sketchbook. Inside it has designs specifically drawn by me that you could just print out right away and tattoo without having to worry about copying someone else's designs and them getting upset. That's specifically what they're for, so I definitely recommend that you check that out, and I will leave a link in the description below for you guys to check that out. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I hope this was able to help you out.